Okay, I could almost do a crossover with this, with my movie type channel, but I'm trying to keep that more non-political. I've noticed something, and I'm not seeing people comment on it, even the people that do conspiracy theories. Not trying to be theatrical either, I just don't feel like turning that light on. It seems like to me, I know there's been some mention of movies in Hollywood being propaganda. Like there's been some mention of them being that for the military and stuff like that. But it's gotten far worse. First time I noticed it, and maybe I was late to the game, maybe it was early, I don't know. I thought it was strange that there was a Nelson Mandela movie made the exact same year he died. And I mean, it came out like, timed it perfectly. That was strange. It was very strange. Now, granted, he's 95 years old. It could just be some kind of coincidence, but I thought that was a little strange. At least got my attention to it, even if that was nothing. But I'm noticing, you go through these apps on Roku and Webos and whatever other kind of smart TV situation you have. And if you consider what's going on in the world right now, you see an awful lot of Hitler stuff. You see a lot of American Revolution stuff. But not American Revolution as like against the British is what I mean. Like young George Washington, things like that. And that's a little strange to me. Because I know, and I often underestimate how gullible people are. It continues to be a surprise to me. They are extremely gullible and extremely impressionable. I think that might be some of the issue there. Okay. Anyway, that's a little strange to me that keeps happening. And I don't know if anybody else is noticing this. It might not be too much of a deep dive, but it's a little strange. It's like they're trying to get people in a certain mindset. You know, we all know about Hitler, okay? The people who don't know how awful Hitler was and how evil he was and how evil what the German Nazis did was, they don't need education. They're awful people. You don't need to be educated. It's like trying to show a serial killer, look what you did, and expecting them to be ashamed. That's just not going to work. Because if you know at all who he is, you should already hate him. Simple as that. We don't need to be educated on him. And the funny thing about the beginning, they keep doing this anyway. They've already got mostly liberals dumb about the Civil War. And they're the ones that yell the loudest about it. I could do a complete video on that alone. But they love to poke fun because they think it makes conservative Southerners mad. So they love to do little weird brags and boast about the Civil War. And it shows you don't know any details about it. But you can find the details. And I'll go on more about that in a whole separate video because that needs, you know, sort of receipts shown and this and that, and because people aren't going to read, so sometimes you have to read it to them. But you know, that even happens pre-Civil War with this young George Washington thing. And you see it a lot anyway. I'm sick. We got Monty Fritz, or Frittler as I call him here, who's trying to be a forefather, like they're the hand of God or something like that. I mean, he's ridiculous. He even has a stupid hat that he wears, which to me is, it at least makes me laugh at him. I usually can't laugh at how awful he is, but that stupid hat is laughable. Anybody put that on and run around, it's like wearing a giant hat with a feather in it or something like that, or a oversized one of those oversized Mexican hats or something like that, or I don't know, maybe just a clown wig or Viking helmet, and expecting to be taken seriously. I mean, you're just a clown. But he's talking about all that stuff. We need to come to terms. And stop talking about, oh, it was a different time. That makes me really mad. That's really easy for a friggin' white person to say, for sure. It was a different time. Imagine if you know your ancestors were being slaughtered by these people or used as slaves, brutalized, the stuff they did to those people. And these people are like, well, it was a different time. They were good people. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. None of them were good people. None of them. Like, there's no mindset, there's no time in history where that should be okay. There's a complete, like a pronounced lack of empathy. Like, it was just a different time, so they couldn't see that it was monstrous to be whipping this person to make them do the work that you should be doing. And they also did sexual things to them, too. Oh, well, I guess it's a different time, wasn't it? All the stuff they did, and these people want to write it off. And now we have the film industry is backing that up. Because I guarantee you, these these movies about the forefathers, they're not going to show the other crap they did. They're not even going to explain how Ben Franklin was obese and just did whatever in the heck he wanted to do and lived to a ripe old age. Actually, there's a couple things they're not going to explain or even show. I'll give you a couple of them. Yeah, George Washington movie made in 2000 also. But there's one more recently. I don't know what that is. Young Washington, that's the one that's coming out now. Oh, wait a minute. Kelsey Grammer. Let's check the cast real quick of Young Washington. Yeah, this is interesting. This is offensive. Oh, this is really offensive. Now, it just came out. Maybe this will get more filled out. But right now, on this particular date, was it the 29th? Yeah. June 29th, 2026. If you look in Wikipedia for Young Washington, you scroll down to the cast, everybody's white. Now, on one hand, common sense, right? But they couldn't do anything without the slaves. They couldn't even function without them. And they don't get any kind of mention. They wouldn't even be alive without the Native Americans. They don't get some kind of mention. It's talking about the French and... yeah. His experiences in command of the French and Indian War. So, no Native Americans listed, though. Who's behind this nonsense? Oh, here we go. Okay, that makes sense. John Irwin, Christian filmmaker. Yeah. Oh, at least Kelsey Grammer's getting some work. He's giving him a lot of work. But there's that. Let's see. Okay. Forgot what I was going to look up there for a second. Okay. Other little details that they won't give out. George Washington lived to be 67, so not a super old man. But here's the issue. If you look into this, he was 61 by the time he was president, if I remember correctly. Make sure. Command's Battles War. Commander-in-Chief of the Army. It actually don't say that right away. You'd think so. There it is. 1789. Really? That ain't right. Somebody's got their math wrong here. Okay, 60... I'm sorry. 58. I thought it was 61. Yeah, 58 years old. Now, this is what I was told in some other documentary, which I'll have to track down. He had one tooth in his head by that point. Okay? Now, if you gloss over this, there's nothing to think is strange here. Here's what makes it strange. I know people these days who have not made it to 30 with all their teeth in their head. With way more technology and way more... How did he make it to then? And here's the thing, too. That was mentioned because that was supposed to be kind of a standout. That's unusual. His teeth were exceptionally bad. Okay. Well, why weren't everybody's teeth that bad? Right? Because we're supposed to be so much better off? Something is rotting people's teeth out at an accelerated rate in modern times. Also, seems to be less people with visual impairments. Seem to be less people with hearing impairments. You look down through history. Won't point that stuff out. Could go even farther. People live longer now, right? John Adams was 90 when he died. You could go even farther. How about Ben Franklin? All the stuff he did, I'm not going to go into detail here because it almost gets you demonetized talking about his personal life. He lived to be 84. And he was obese when he died. The whole time, I think. Women didn't seem to live as long. So there's even some other bits of truth that could be in these movies that you are not going to see at all. And I wonder why. So I'd say pay very close attention to these movies. That's part of the reason I look at older movies. And I'm kind of the true definition of woke anyway. I'm not like these liberals. I'm the real version of it, what it was originally meant to be. If you're voting for either major party, you're not. If you're enthusiastically supporting either major party, you're not woke. You're asleep. And that's why I'm saying pay attention to this stuff, because you're being propagandized. Now, if you can watch it, understand what it's doing, and still enjoy it, fine, go to it. But I did wonder when I was a little bit younger how certain things would sort of manipulate you. You'd watch it and you'd get a certain feeling about it. You're supposed to. But what kind of feeling is it supposed to give you? When you're supposed to have one feeling and it gives you another one. That's why I'm not a real big drug fan, or even like a marijuana or drinking, things like that. I believe in keeping your mind, not letting things alter it. Unnaturally, anyway. But anyway, keep your head on a swivel, as Kit Cabello from Hard Lens Media would say. Some interesting stuff going on here. If you know to look for it, it's kind of laughable.